If you're struggling with creating content consistently because you're afraid what other people will think of you, and the camera simply makes your brain go completely blank whenever you press the darn recording button, how come? It's only a button, right? Well, for most people, it's frightening to press record, and I completely understand that. And I've also been struggling with that for many years. But after doing this repetition work, back and forth, actually being in the trenches and figuring out what advice out there actually works and what doesn't, I've boiled down to fundamentally 3 things. And if you do them immediately after watching this video, you will completely change. And that is, I'm assuming that you actually follow through and hold on even when times feel difficult. Now, I've helped numerous coaches with improving, having the confidence to record and feel more comfortable being on camera, which ultimately leads to getting clients, because when people trust you on camera, they will buy from you. So it doesn't really matter how much you know, but it's how well are you able to package your expertise into content. Now, I totally get it. If you're watching my views and you see, well, how can you help me with getting clients if you seem to not have that many views? Well, fundamentally, it's not only about the amount of views, it's also the quality of views. The goal is not to have as many views as possible, although that's a bonus, but it's also having the quality of views. How many of those views are actually people who are willing to invest in your coaching? Now, even if you had the views, qualified people that could buy your coaching program or course that you're selling, it boils down to how well are you able to articulate your thoughts, your expertise, and turn that into content that is able to sell. Now, some people have a funnel, top of funnel, the bottom of funnel, and they overcomplicate everything, thinking that you need to have everything. But if you're someone that's fundamentally struggling with getting in at least 1 client, and you have been working with 3 clients for a very long time, and it feels like a fluke to just get 1 client in through the door, then it's your content that's the problem. And it's not what kind of content you're creating, it's more so a communication issue, how well we are packaging something. So imagine this, you have a lemonade stand, and 2 people are selling the same product, the same kind of method, but they are saying completely things. One lemonade stand says, come here to get some lemons that have been squeezed and have some sugar in it, or buy some lemonade. Whilst the other says, come here, we have freshly squeezed lemonades that are that will quench your thirst. Which of them will you choose? They're the exact same product, and hopefully you will say the second one. It's fundamentally the same product. The only thing that's different is the packaging, how you say something. And the same applies to your content and communication skills. How you say things is one of the most important things that you are able to develop in your business. And it all boils down to you knowing exactly what you're selling. And even if you don't know what you're selling, if you only want to grow your brand before even having anything, it applies there too. You need to have someone in mind in order to make it connect and resonate, so that one person is able to follow you and actually be a super fan, and that builds business trust. If they can relate, they can trust. That's why you relate to people when they say they have the same interests as you. For example, if someone says they like Lord of the Rings, I don't really need to know you more than that. If you like that, oh, you are a good friend to me. But not only that, let's see, I need to find a parking. Now, when it comes to communication skills, the one thing why you freeze whenever you press record is because you instantly get self-conscious. So imagine this, you walking down the street, nothing different, you're just walking. But if someone says to you, this person is watching you, immediately you will be conscious about how we walk, and it will not look so nice, right? So when you press record button, instantly you get into that state of looking at yourself. And that is selfish of us to do. Instead, we need to put all our focus on the person watching our videos, the viewer. That's why it's important to have one person in mind, so that you know them better than they know themselves. And it could be someone from your past, you from your past. And if you have a client in mind, think about them, one person. So if we are thinking about many people, an audience, we instantly freeze. And that's exactly why our brain gets completely all over the place. It's easier to focus when we have one person in mind. And also, if you can also do the trick where you basically think about your best friend sitting in front of you and you're just talking. So if you're sitting with your best friend, you speak differently than if you're standing on stage. If you visualize your best friend in front of you, it gets more easy to speak. Now, when it comes to being able to record consistently and being more confident in front of the camera instantaneously, it's not only about getting in a state, doing breath work and all those techniques. They work temporarily to get you outside of your head, but a lion doesn't need to get motivated to go attack. They go from sleeping to attacking when there's food ahead. In this case, attacking means you are posting content because you want to give value to the world, to be useful, to make an impact. And if you're only doing this for monetary reasons and you feel shy to show up, then you need to do some internal work. And that's something that you need to go within yourself, which I unfortunately can't help you with. Now, and the last thing is focusing on the impact that you're creating, who you are becoming. Creating content and having the confidence instantaneously instead of relying on motivation and being in the right state and having all these complex rituals just to get started. Come on! We have to make sure that we are focusing on one person and deeply caring about helping them. Do I understand their problems? Do I actually want to create content? Because when we are self-conscious, we are selfish. Because we are hiding, we are thinking about ourselves. We have the light on us, but instead we should shine the light on the person that needs to hear our message. And that is all. We are transferring energy from our mouth to theirs. Not. You get my drift. Being you, being imperfect, that's what makes you human. That's how we stand out with this content game. Of course, we will not get as much views as someone who is optimizing their content with AI, but you're getting real people that feel that your content is refreshing because AI doesn't know your patterns of speech, what you're saying and so forth, not as we speak. And when people are using Claude AI or ChatGPT, you feel instantly when someone is using AI. I don't need to get into depth with that. Now, I can get deeper into how you can be super confident on camera, create more consistently, but fundamentally these tips, I think I've gone through more than 3 things. But hopefully you got something of value here. So if we boil down to one thing, it's difficult to record. One, it's completely normal to feel uncomfortable, but also it's selfish of us to think about ourselves. When creating content, it's about serving our clients, serving the world, having the one person in mind. Because when you're speaking to a friend, it's super easy. But when we turn on camera, it's uncomfortable. And yeah, things take time, it's reps. You are not born perfect on camera, and hiding behind perfection, that's simply a way to not get judged by people. But there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, is that no matter how hard you try to please everybody, there will always be someone out there who will judge you. And you have to remember, the person who judges you is not where you want to be, and the person who is where you want to be will not judge you. And your ideal clients or your ideal viewers, they really care about you. Don't mind them. Focus on the positive. No, we are tested all the time. The universe, God, or whatever you believe in is testing you. If you truly want to be a creator, a business owner, a coach who has a full pipeline with dream clients, who do I need to become? Universe is testing us. That's what I believe, at least. Instead of saying, why me? Instead, what is universe or God or whatsoever the energy is trying to teach me? What am I not seeing right now? What lessons do I need to accomplish, to realize in order to move forward? And they stop being there until we learn them. And when we learn them, it gets easier because we don't mind them anymore. For example, when I started going to the gym when I was super overweight, it was difficult just going to the gym. It overwhelmed me. I needed to have motivation to go there. But eventually, after many years, I felt pulled towards going to the gym. I became a person that's healthy. You didn't need to force me. You had to force me to stay at home when I was sick. So that's another thing. That's extreme. You should take care of yourself. If you're sick, don't go to the gym. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Keep posting. This is, I think, my 8th video or 9th video of recording for my 30-day challenge. If you're joining me, make sure to comment down below. And also your biggest takeaways. I know I'm asking too much right now. So if you do one thing, write your biggest takeaways and subscribe if you want to follow this. See you in the next one. Peace and love.